third baseman Mike Schmidt. So they're 2 away, nobody on. Mike Schmidt. Schmidt, 48 home runs, 121 runs batted in, hit 286.
I gotta wonder, Tom, that if McRae is what I think he means to Brett, the guy behind Schmidt, or in front of him, Rose, that they might mean to his year, because he's a guy they're going to try and pitch around, same as they will Brett for the Royals.
You're exactly right. Brett's is the guy on the Royal Ball Club you don't want to beat you. Schmidt's the guy who on the Philly Club could mean disaster. He could carry a ball club through a World Series if he gets hot. He had a very difficult playoff series, pressing probably, and now obviously looking for a very good World Series.
2 strikes to count on Mike Schmidt. Oddly enough, when you look at it, the 2 guys you don't want to have beat you, Schmidt of the Phillies and Brett of Kansas City, were both pretty well stopped in the playoffs, and yet they went on to win. So it shows the balance of both ball clubs. Strikes to count. Misses. Mike Schmidt has an interesting theory. He says that if he hits the fastball hard the first time, that he feels that he's given a message to the pitcher that I can handle your fastball. It doesn't necessarily have to be a base hit, just a good, hard, solid smack. Right now, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on.
Joe, if he hits that fastball, too, Mike is an outstanding off-speed or a curveball hitter, and if he can get to your fastball, you're in trouble.
He didn't get to that fastball, so he's out on strikes.
You know, Joe, you look at that pitch when Pete Rose got hit. He didn't try and get out of that ball very well. He said, go ahead here, let me have it. I'll take it and let Mike Schmidt up the baits with somebody on.
So the tying run is up there now. 4-2 is the score. 2 men out.
You can see here the slider breaks inside to Rose, and Rose just soon take first base any way he can get it. And he knows that'll fire his club up.
Fastball misses. Ball 1. The crowd, I tell you, there was just silence on the home runs by Amos Otis in the second inning, a 2-run homer. A 2-run homer by Aikens was 4-0, and all of a sudden this crowd, a jam-packed ballpark, really alive. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Kansas City 4, Philadelphia 2 as we look at that Phillies bench. There's Tug. Series and with the Mets, he's such a hyper player. You've got to believe. High, 2-1.
Tony, I gotta believe with all the turmoil they've had around this Philadelphia clubhouse with Dallas Green and all his players, etc., and being branded the losers from 1964 and whatever, and having to carry that onus on their back for so long, the kind of things that a Rose does or a Boa does when he steals second base definitely has to lift the ball club.
3-1. Mike Schmidt. The score, 4-2. Kansas City leading. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. 2 men out. Mike Schmidt, who struck out his first time up. A good cripple shooter. He'll be looking for his pitch right here. And if he gets it, he'll go to work on it.
Hope you'll watch right here on NBC. 1 out. Phillies lead 6-4. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Freddie Martin relieved Dennis Leonard. It's Mike Schmidt. He has struck out. He has walked and scored a run. 1 ball. balls, no strike. One thing Schmidt has done, one of his first years in the big leagues, he struck out 180 times. This year he went just over 100 slightly. He appears, Tom, to have moved off the plate a little bit.
Well, definitely this year he's moved off the plate, Tony. And over the last, say, 3 or 4 years, Mike has become very selective at the plate. He used to come up and be hacking at everything. He has become a much more disciplined hitter, and he knows he gets up there and he's a much better hitter if he gets in a situation with 2 balls and no strikes, and he'll let a pitcher get behind him, whereas before he used to go up and just start swinging. But he knows that if he gets that pitcher in the hole and he's so strong and he can be more selective, he's a much more effective hitter. Become a very intelligent hitter in the last 3 or 4 years in the big leagues. Outstanding power. Sitting here right now in a 3-1 situation. He's got a pitcher right where he wants him.
He walks him on a 3-1 pitch, so Schmidt's on with 1 out.
1 away, and it brings up Mike Schmidt. Schmidt struck out in the first. He walked and scored. He scored when McBride hit that home run, a 3-run homer. And Schmidt walked and scored in the 5th. Sacrifice fly by Maddox.
Tom, you've talked a little bit about a Kansas City Royals staff would pitch a Schmidt. How do you pitch a Schmidt?
Well, again, Tony, it depends on how you're throwing. You know, I know he's become much more selective over the years. If you're throwing well, personally, if I'm throwing well, try and throw him hard stuff in. Any big home run hitter, you don't want him to let him extend his arms. Now, I haven't faced him since he's moved off the plate as far as he is. This is going to be new for me when I pitch against him next year. Because when I faced him, he was up closer to the plate, the way he has been throughout his career.
Striding into the ball more now.
Going into the ball more. I would throw him, what I try to do is try and throw him hard stuff in. You know he's going to kill your mistake. He's an outstanding mistake hitter. If you hang a pitch, get a pitch where he can drive it, he is not going to miss it. He's that kind of an outstanding pitch, and you can see how selective he's been. He's already got 2 walks today. But I personally try and throw hard stuff in, run it in toward the small part of that bat, run sliders away, keep the ball down. Don't give him the pitch out over the plate to drive.
2 balls and 1 strike, and there's a foul ball. That's out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 man out.
When a hitter moves off the plate, and again I refer to Charlie Lau, it gives you a split second longer as you watch the replay as Schmidt fouls it off. He's going the opposite way a little bit more, but it gives you that split second longer to wait on the ball.
Well, that was a great replay too, Tony. You can see the extension of his arms, and Mike is a huge man. I mean, he can hit the ball out very easily to right center, right field.
Curveball bounces low, 3-2 the count, 1 out, nobody on. 7-4, Philadelphia leading. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's quite a stat that we just saw.
He broke Eddie Matthews' record for third base. Eddie had 47.
3-2 pitch. That's fouled out of play. Tomorrow night, Steve Carlton against Larry Gura. In this game that Bob Walk has given Dallas Green, I tell you, it's almost like just a big shot in the arm. Everybody talking about the pitching staff and how they had a battle, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Montreal Expos to win it, and how they battled Houston. Now here, trying to give Carlton an extra day's rest, and they're 3 runs ahead in the 7th. Brett to his left, can't get it. Washington deep in the hole, no way. And Mike Schmidt, for some reason, stopped. And then he went through. He almost got thrown out on that. He thought that ball was in left field.